Desmond, let's rock and roll. What do you think are the most important aspects of playing quarterback at a high level in the National Football League?
Yeah, I think there are really three things that go into playing quarterback at the highest level. And the first is accuracy. Obviously, you got to make an accurate pass to be able to give your receiver a chance. The DBs, the safeties, the linebackers at the next level are obviously just that much better. So being defined and really working on your accuracy is what's going to set you apart at the next level. The second one is athleticism and being able to extend the play. I think being able to go out there and make a play when a play is breaking down or just making something out of nothing is also what sets you apart. And then the last one is kind of a two-part deal. But the first part of it and the overall aspect of it is leadership. Leadership is huge when you talk about the quarterback position. When you talk about a successful organization, you always know that they have one, if not more, leaders in their organization. And obviously, like I said, being a quarterback, leadership for me is high on my list. And then kind of what goes into leadership is toughness. Toughness as a quarterback is crucial, especially at the next level. Not only crucial for your longevity of your career, but crucial in gaining the trust and respect of your teammates for them to know that you're going to go out there on 3rd and 2 and put your body on the line to go get it. So I think those are the 3 or 4 most crucial aspects of being a quarterback at the next level.
You have won something like 34 home games in a row going back to high school. So you must have a little bit of that leadership quality in you. What's your style of leadership? Are you vocal? Are you follow me? Let's go up the hill together. What type of style do you think your leadership eludes?
Yeah, I think I lead by a couple of ways, but the first way, and I think the main key part of leadership is relationship building and being able to build relationships with not only your teammates but your coaches and the staff and the whole organization as a whole. And so for me, it's really getting to know these people, get to know their personal life. So, when we get out there on the field and I'm taking care of my business as far as knowing exactly what I have to do and what everyone else has to do, then, they're going to be able to listen to me more and have more respect for me. So I think, really, learning someone's story and who they're about is a huge part in leadership. And then another part of it for me is, by action. And that's being vocal. And like I said, being the first one in the building and putting all the work in, putting the hours in, and just then going out there and executing it on the field so that your teammates, your coaches, your organization sees that you're not only putting on the work off the field, but you put it on the work on the field as well.
Desmond, that's interesting and also impressive. Where and how did you learn those leadership qualities? Did you just gain them by experience, or did somebody set you down and you would discuss it and then put it into action?
Yeah, so I think it goes all the way back to almost 7th, 8th grade football, all the way back into when I went into high school. I went into a very structured, all-boys private Catholic high school in Louisville called St. Xavier, who had a great coaching staff. And my head coach, Will Wolford, my quarterback coach and OC, Dave Nurnberg. They've seen players at a high level. Coach Wolford's obviously played at a high level. So they've seen what leadership looks like and what it looks like successfully. And so, going into high school, they kind of just like grew me to be who I am today. And just as far as, how to be a leader and how to go out there and lead a team. And so, like I said, I felt like, I was prepped in early high school and then obviously getting into college. Coach Figa has done a great job of teaching leadership and holding everyone accountable and make sure that, we're also creating leaders as well within our organization so that, when our seniors leave, our older guys leave, it's the next man up.
Impressive. All right, let's talk a little football. Let's visualize a 2-by-2 formation, 4 verticals, back check option. Let's go through your process, your eyes, what your thought process. Are you doing anything with your protection, your footwork, your read, your progression? Take us through how you operate with the 4 vertical game.
Yeah, so on our four vertical game, we have the option on the outside on field one and boundary one to be able to come out of it at 12 yards. The receivers need to make their mind up by 10 yards if he's pressed and they're going to convert. If it's cover two, he's also going to convert and just take it off the top. But then let's say it's cover three and the corners bust to the sideline, they're going to drop out of it, come back 12 to 10. And so for me, my read, once I get the play call, I'm going up at the line of scrimmage, giving the protection, whatever that may be, and getting that going. And then I'm IDing the front, letting the O line and the running back know, is it even, is it odd, and getting that communicated, and then making any protection adjustments. And then I'm getting my eyes to the safety. Is it one high? Is it two high? Middle field open, middle field closed. And then I'm gonna take my eyes to that field corner because that's gonna be my first read. So if that field corner is off and soft, and I know I got a 12-yard stop coming out of it, I'm gonna rip that on three with no hitch. If he's pressed or maybe it's a little iffy over there and I don't like it, I'm gonna snap my eyes backside to my boundary up read, and kind of read my middle read bender with my number two into the boundary, to number one outside to my back.
Awesome. Now let's go back to when you were coming out of high school, Desmond. You were recruited by Blake and Zach, the head coach at Cincinnati, to go play for Tommy Tuberville. And then all of a sudden they're gone with a new coach. He still offered you and you decided to go, and it worked beautifully. How did that make you feel when the coaching staff was gone, new coaches in, you're still going there? How did you decide that? How did that make you feel there emotionally?
Obviously, I was committed to Cincinnati, and I think that was in like early June, before my senior season. And then I played my senior season, and it's December. And then I hear that, Coach Tuberville and that staff are leaving. And excuse me, there's a new staff coming in. And there was a week or two period where it was like, what's my future hold? I only had Cincinnati and Eastern Kentucky as my offer. So it was like, man, if Cincinnati, doesn't keep me, then I guess I'm going to Eastern Kentucky, and going to do the same thing there. But then, about a week later, Coach Fickle called me and he said he was going to extend the offer, and that, they liked the way I play and they thought that, they saw potential in me. And so they took me in. And I never really looked back. I took advantage of it. I knew I was going to take advantage of, whatever opportunity I got, and I did.
And then this is what you've done, some of the things you've done. The third most career wins of any collegiate quarterback. Hey, Desmond, congratulations. That is impressive. 44 wins, two-time AAC, all those things, several career school records. Now, what record or award has been most meaningful for you?
Being a three-time team captain, even when I wasn't just a senior, or when people thought it was going to be my last year, but even the year before, when I was still kind of, that middle class type guy. And so those, really mean a lot to me. And then, like we mentioned at the start of this, undefeated at home at Nippert Stadium. That's one that, will live with me for forever, because, we run these stadium steps during the summer, and we put, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this stadium. So to be able to go out there and protect it, every single time I stepped onto that field, it was an honor to be out there and play.
You've got the right mentality. You're certainly talented. And then that hard work and preparation, you've got all of that. Now, you've started 48 games. Great experience. Do you think that's going to help you early in your NFL career, or does it not matter? And so my point is, some of the fellas translate to the NFL game sort of seamlessly. Others, it may take quite a little while. Who are you regarding that aspect?
Yeah, I think obviously there's going to be a few things that take a little bit getting used to. Obviously, the speed of the game, the extensiveness of the playbook. But other than that, like you said, I have experience as far as when it comes to game play. So, I've seen a lot of fronts, seen a lot of defenses, seen a lot of different blitzes and coverages. So, I think I'm well prepared to be able to go into the NFL and have a seamless transition. But like I said, there's still going to be a little hiccups, as any rookie would have. But, I'm still going out there to be the best every single day.
You've talked about it briefly. You've overcome multiple challenges on this path getting into the NFL. What has kept you going through each dip? Everybody has ups and downs, right? But when you've taken 2 steps back and you're trying to go 5 steps forward, how do you do that mentally?
Yeah, just keep your head down, keep pushing. Control what you can control. Some of those events that might have happened in your past, they may have been in your control and you may have been able to stop it. And then others, you had no control over. Sometimes, the ball just falls where it falls. And some things are going to go wrong. But just, one, being blessed to be in this position. And, you're working every day to be the best and to get better, like we said. And so just really keeping your head down and grinding and looking forward to the next day and the ability to be able to get better.
What current or former NFL quarterback do you sort of see yourself as?
I would say there's about 3 of them. The first one, kind of overall, is just Marcus Mariota. Just the way he plays coming out of college all the way into now where he's at in the NFL now. And then also 2 others, Deshaun Watson and Ryan Tannehill. I think in those 3 guys, you see the mix of accuracy, arm strength, athletic ability, leadership, and toughness. And out of those 3 guys, and all 3 of those guys are very successful. And that's who I've kind of modeled my gameplay after, is those 3. And then growing up, obviously watching Peyton Manning, watching him with Indianapolis and Denver, and then growing up, being fortunate now to where this past summer worked down at the Manning Passing Academy, and getting to talk to him and text him, weekly basis during the season. I've obviously grown to him and his knowledge of the game. And so for me, like, he's obviously one of my role models ever since I've been a little kid.
Who's been your biggest mentor up to date?
Yeah, I would say 2 people. Coach Luke Fickell here at Cincinnati, and Coach Gino Guidugli, my quarterback coach here at Cincinnati. Those 2 guys that have kind of taken me under my wing, and kind of, as we said in high school, my coaches kind of held me to be at my best potential, to be the best player at the next level. And we sat down this past off season of right when I decided to come back for my final season, and put together a game plan of how I was going to be a first-round draft pick and how I was going to lead this team to bigger and better things. And, we implemented that game plan throughout the whole season and just executed it. But those 2 guys right there, have been my role models since I stepped foot on campus. And they've wanted nothing but the best for me. And so, I'll be forever thankful for that.
How can you improve yourself moving forward, both as a player and a leader?
Yes, I think, as a player, and we talk about on the field stuff, just getting stronger. And then, we talk about the accuracy being a critical part, just working on that, and more so to the left. Just being able to get my hips turned at the top, not swinging the gate open, as I say, with that front leg, and just becoming more accurate in that. And then being a leader, I'm taking a new, turning the page in the book, starting a new chapter. So it's a whole new journey for me. And instead of leading just 22 to 18-year-old boys, I'm going to lead grown men. So it's a new step for me. It's a new journey. It's a new challenge for me. And as competitive I am, I'm always up for a challenge. And so I'm excited for it. And, I'm excited.
Don't forget to allow your personality to show a little bit. Guys forget that, and they become so engulfed in only the schemes and they're trying to do it so desperately. They're so desperately trying to do it just like the coach wants them to do it. Allow your personality and leadership to show. Have a little fun. Now there's time, time to work.
Time and a place.
That's right. That's
Yes,
right,
sir.
Desmond. It was an honor to get to meet you. You're going to do fabulous in the NFL, and I'm going to have fun watching you throughout the process. Have some fun. Go get them. Do it with passion. I've been very impressed with you this morning. And go Cincinnati Bearcats.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Coach.